Are all watching very closely the U.S. Senate race. It just keeps getting hotter here in Arizona. New ads out going after both candidates. Take a listen.
Richard Carmona was recruited by Barack Obama. Jeff Flake is supported by John Kyle and John McCain. Carmona is for Obama's health care law. Flake's against Obama's health care law. He supports a realistic plan to strengthen Medicare. Obama's man in Arizona, or Jeff Flake, Arizona's man in Washington. Some decisions are just easier than others.
I'm Jeff Flake, and I approve this message.
I proudly served our country for 2 tours in Iraq. Congressman Jeff Flake voted to send us to that war, and then voted against us when we returned home. Congressman Flake voted to cut veterans' benefits by billions. He was one of only 12 in Congress to vote against the GI Bill, which is putting veterans like me through school. And Flake was one of only 3 to vote against job training for returning troops. Jeff Flake doesn't deserve my vote or my respect.
Vote Vets Action Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Dennis, you told me that ad really caught your attention.
Well, I think it's caught a lot of people's attention. This is a group called VoteVets.org. They've went after Republicans all across the country. Now, this attack comes on the heels of a similar ad from the Carmona folks that go after Flake's record on voting on veterans issues. And it's a place where, you know, it's a place where it really can highlight some real stark, you know, Mr. Flake's voting record in Congress. And it's something that he's been on the defensive with the entire week, and as you guys know, in politics, if you're on the defense, you're not gaining any ground, and you're losing.
What do you make of these ads?
I think that I think both ads are good. By the way, I think the Flake ad was a very good ad. I think they're both good ads in that they're aiming at something and they're hitting their points. If you take a look at where we are right now, there's a recent poll that's come out that shows that they're neck and neck. They're within 2 or 3 or maybe 4 points of each other. And that Flake is still ahead, but he's only ahead by maybe 3 or 4 points. That's, you know, a significant issue right now for an incumbent congressman. Everybody has always said that Carmona is going to be a very legitimate candidate, and I think he's showing to be.
Well, I'm looking at this. Is this the poll that you're talking about, the high ground poll just released?
Yes.
And there's a number of polls that have been where it's been within the margin.
Well, High Ground is a Republican firm. Why did they release this poll? It shows only a 3-point differential, so it's obviously showing a very close race here.
You never know what High Ground's going to do and what the reason for their release of a poll is. But I will tell you this. Jeff Flake is talking to people who should be in on his side. So he's having to play defense and get people back. That's a bad sign to be in October, which we are now in, and trying to get your own people back. Carmona is still on the offensive. He's going after older men with that vet ad. That should be Flake's wheelhouse. And so Carmona is battling on Flake's turf right now.
And I just got to add, I was out at a fundraising breakfast last week. 800 mostly, these were mostly women, showed up for a fundraising breakfast for Carmona. It was really kind of an impressive at this point in the campaign. And you know, we're looking at these polls. It was almost unthinkable a couple months ago, as some polls showed that Carmona wasn't going to have even a shot at being this close, this far in the race. And
thus far, Congressman Flake, as I understand it, has not agreed to do any debates. Why?
If I was Jeff Flake, I would debate Carmona every single day. Jeff is a smart, articulate. He ran the Goldwater Institute. He's a think tank guy. He's good looking. He's articulate. He's young. And he's up against a guy with a heavy Brooklyn accent. I mean, Carmona doesn't sound that way in his commercials, but when he's just talking, it breaks through. And it would really change the dynamic. But Flake's afraid because he's playing prevent defense. Guess what you get when you play prevent defense, scored on.
Well, and we should let our viewers know that we've offered Congressman Flake 3 dates on our air during prime time that Mr. Carmona has agreed to, so we are hoping that a debate will be forthcoming.
Yeah, now, they have agreed, I believe, to 1 debate. I think it's going to be on a PBS station, I believe. I think we'll sit down on a Horizon and debate it on that show, but other than that, I mean, you're not going to have a real chance to see them side by side on television.
He has shown that he will reverse course. He did in the primary a little bit. People said when Will Cardin was going after him. Flake needs to start coming out and doing something, and he finally did. When he did, he really beat back Cardin significantly. So the question is he willing to make some of those adjustments in his campaign now and do some of the things that's being talked about? Because I agree, if he continues on the path as he is right now, I think Carmona has the upward trend.
The other question is the outside money. How much is going to come in Wes, I'll ask you, the Republican Party in D.C., are they going to come in and start putting in some money into this
The
race?
Republican Senatorial Committee thinks this is a shoo-in. They're not going to spend a lot of money. However, the majority leader has a PAC, and his supposedly he's coming in big for Carmona. So when you've got the majority leader of the United States Senate's PAC getting ready to spend money, that's a scary thing if you're the Republican, and the Republicans think you've got this in the bag. So this is going to be an exciting race, and we've always said that this is the race to watch because Carmona is a different kind of guy.